Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris. It's my channel, I Am Toys. This is going to be a review of the Hot Toys Emmett Brown Back to the Future Part 2. Or from Back to the Future Part 2. So, as usual, hit the 4K option on your YouTube browser so I can give you this video in the way I intended it. So, we've been waiting for Doc Brown for quite some time from Hot Toys. We have two Martys now. We finally have a Doc Brown. And to many collectors' dismay, they don't like it. They think that it doesn't look like him. I've seen critiques about we need a second head sculpt, relaxed expression, so on and so forth. I agree with that. But they didn't do it. So it is what it is. And then there's a school of thought to where, if you get a second head sculpt, it'll drive up the price a little bit. That is not necessarily true. I mean, with the Tom Holland Spider-Man figure that was just released in the homemade costume, that comes with two head sculpts. You get the masked version, and then you get the clean sculpt with Tom Holland's likeness, and that's only going for about $220. This is $250. This is not the exclusive, though. The exclusive is going for $250 on Sideshow's site. I don't know if the regular version is going to be going for cheaper. I'm not sure, but for $250 you get the exclusive walkie-talkie, and I didn't think that was really that significant for me as an exclusive, so I just picked up this version early from Hong Kong instead. So $250 for the exclusive on Sideshow's site. So whether or not it's going to be cheaper for the regular version, I don't know. So it's probably not really a good comparison that I'm giving, but for $220 on the Spider-Man figure, and you get a little bit more. I don't know. Take it for what you will, make your own judgments. I don't know. But there have been figures in the past where you've gotten two head sculpts and it's been under $250. So it could be licensing, could be studio stuff, bureaucracy, red tape nonsense, man. I don't know, politics. It is what it is. So, but generally, I'm happy with the figure. I actually think the likeness is decent. It's not 100%, but I do see Christopher Lloyd in it. And for me, I've been waiting too long, and I think it's good enough. I think maybe some people's expectations were, that this would be a perfect 10 when it came out. The initial prototype sculpts, there were people that had issues with it as well, but, nothing's ever going to be 100%, so you pretty much got to make that call for yourself, and, you're willing to spend the money for something you want. And for me, I did. Back to the Future Part 2 is my favorite. And to have him and the Marty from that film is, that's all I could ever ask for. So I'm happy with it. Some people are, again, you're going to be pissed not having a second relaxed expression, but, hey, whatever, man. So let's get into the upper torso. We'll rotate the figure around and show them to you from 360. And see you on the other side. All right, so here's a closer up proximity of the upper torso and the head sculpt. Some people are probably going to keep the visor on when they display them. If you've seen a few folks that are, and I might even do it actually for a little while too, because I think the likeness has definitely improved more with the visor on. Obviously, because you're covering the eyes, and a lot of people think the eye expression is a little ridiculous. Maybe the brow isn't arched in enough for Dr. Brown's expression in the film, but honestly, I can't even really complain over the expression they gave him for the most part, because when you watch Back to the Future films, this is the most often expression on Dr. Emmett Brown's face. So they really picked a good expression, honestly. So a lot of people that are mad at the expression, this is the most common expression that he had in the film, really, was this great Scott, expression on his face most of the time. He's always in wonder, bewildered, so almost like with Marty, they seemed like they were always in a state of confusion. So honestly, it's almost a perfect sculpt still. I mean, you could have a relaxed sculpt, maybe a smirk or something with him, or a smile, or whatever. But I don't know. I think they did a good job though with the choice as far as the sculpt. But if I had to rate the sculpt, I would probably give it an 8. 7.5, 8 out of 10 with the visor on. I think it bumps up the likeness a little bit more specific to that scene. I guess it improves it more when he's wearing it. Again, some people don't like the brow. They think it takes the likeness off in the eyes a little. I think the likeness is still there regardless. But again, more people, like I said, are probably going to prefer to keep the visor on. So with the visor on, I'd probably bump it up to a 9, just for that specific representation of the character. So anyway, with regards to the tailoring of the clothes, the jacket is a clean yellow on the Hot Toys version. The jacket was definitely a little darker of a yellow, and it was more a little more tattered and a little more weathered. It definitely was not as clean as what you are seeing with this Hot Toys figure. It was definitely more weathered in the film than it is on this. So they dropped the ball a little bit on that. It's okay. A lot of people were smart. You can weather it yourself. I've had to do it in the past as well. If some of you have seen my videos, and you know I had to do that with a couple of Sideshow's figures because they love to drop the ball on transitioning detail from prototype to production. So, but anyway, that's the upper torso. We'll go down to the bottom. Then we'll do some articulation, accessories, close out. All right, so here's the lower torso of the body. I think the detail on the shoes are really good. These are sculpted. They're not made out of a pleather or anything. It's just sculpt. Sculpt in plastic, basically, you know. Sculpted plastic, duh. Anyway, the laces are not actually laces. Those are also sculpted as well. The shoes, I didn't even realize he had antennas on them in the movie. I don't know how many times they actually showed it, but I'm noticing it now. So, hey, we learn something new every day, right? The pants, I think, are pretty accurate to the film. I don't think they were that weathered as the jacket was. They weren't as weathered as the jacket was in the film. At least I don't think so anyway. Maybe a little darker, but that's really about all I noticed. So now that we've covered the top to bottom for the most part, let's show you the head without the visor on, and you can make the differentiation yourself on whether you like it or not. And then we'll do articulation, accessories, and be done. Alright, so here's the top part of the body again. Upper torso, this time without the visor on. For me, I think the likeness is there. Again, if you don't like it, or you're kind of on the fence, you can always put the visor on his face and combat the unlikeness, if you will, you know, that way. So, again, a lot of people don't like the expression, but more often than not, this is the look that he has on his face. So, granted, we didn't get a second head sculpt, but for me, it didn't bother me. I love the series enough. Don't ever let somebody else dictate what you buy. If you like it and you think it's awesome, you know, then get it. It's your money, you know. So I find often sometimes people beat down on a figure just because it comes out at a time when they can't afford it. You know, and I don't know if it's necessarily in this case, but I've seen that quite a bit. With figures, it's really a shame because it kind of ruins the experience for collectors. So, but it's not often that happens, but it does happen, unfortunately. And then sometimes other people just hate it because they hate it. It may actually look like shit, you know, in certain cases, or they don't like it because it's not the franchise that they like, you know. And even if it did look like the character, they'll shit on it because they didn't like the movie or because they don't like the franchise. There's a lot of people out there that have some hate for Back to the Future. They think it's an obscure line that Hot Toys keeps making figures for. And some of you might not know that, but I've seen quite a few bits of dialogue where people just don't understand why they're still making figures from this franchise. And the answer is because of people like me and you and whoever else decides to buy this figure. That's why. So just buy what's good for you, man. What's your hobby? What your niche is, and don't let anybody else ever dictate that. So me, I'm happy. Again, no visor on. I give it probably about a 7.5 to an 8. Likeness to that specific scene with him wearing the visor, I think it bumps it up to probably a 9 or a 9.5. So you at least have those different options. So that's probably where Hot Toys kind of instead of giving you, I'm sure Hot Toys isn't stupid. They probably knew that most people are going to bitch about the blank stare or his Great Scott look and not having any other options. So maybe that's why they gave you the visor. You know, maybe it's not. Who knows? I'm not a mind reader. So it's whatever. Maybe I'm just justifying it to myself that way. But there's some definite bias on my end because, you know, I wanted this figure for a while. So, but anyway, let's get to the accessories. He's got the 2 watches already on, which you've probably already seen. So I'm not going to show you those again. We'll show you a close up on the hypnosis wand that he's holding and the other stuff. And let's get to that next. I'll see you on the other side. Okay, articulation, right? Everyone always loves to wait for. Alright, so head, obviously. Go back about that far. Forward that far. Again, 360 rotate all around. Arms, a little stiff going up. Get them up there. Probably up to about right there. Up, could probably even go all the way back. We're not going to do that because I don't want to rip the fabric. You could do that with the other arm as well. Man, these arm joints are stiff. Let me make sure just before I break something. All right, so there we go. For some reason that didn't want to move. So you get a 90-degree bend, maybe a little more. That's about it. Obviously, same for the other one. Yeah. Can we get up his face? Me doing this and his face looking like that must be hilarious. It's probably like, what the fuck are you doing to me, man? So the arms go up, set lateral raise to about right there. Abduction, let's see. Ooh, right there, pretty good. That's pretty good too. Let's see what the legs can do. It's about right there, I guess. It just starts to get tight right there, so I wouldn't probably go up any farther than that. And the knee, let's see. Yeah, you get a decent 90-degree bend. So feet are also articulated, as you can see. A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right as well. So good. So articulation's a little bit above standard or above average on this. That's pretty nice. And expansion of the legs, yeah, right about there. Don't go any farther than that. I can feel it tugging just the way it's at. So that's about it as far as the articulation. So that should give you a basic idea of what you can do. Alright, and let's get to one final look and close out. Alright, so one last look for you guys while we close out. So overall, like I said, if you're a fan of the series and you like this head and you like this figure, get it. You know, don't let anybody deter you. Take this video for what it is. It's all opinion. You don't have to listen to me. You don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean? So I like it. I think the likeness is there. I'm fine with the expression because it is often enough that is what he looks like in the film. So once again, in recapping, head sculpt 7.5 to an 8 for me. Overall package deal of everything that's included for this regular version is about, I would give it a 9. And I think the accessories are dope. I could care less about the exclusive, the walkie-talkies. Weren't a make or break deal for me. So if you want to save some bucks, even if I don't know if there's a difference in price between this and the exclusive, you know, get the regular version. So that's really about it, guys. I really don't have much else to add. I'll probably do some photos, pop this up on Instagram later on. It's under the same handle, I Am Toy, so you can follow me over there as well. My photography is just as good as the videos, so check them out, man. I hope you enjoy. And that's about it, guys. Deuces until next time.